first thing I remember at the Chinese restaurant is I remember the exact restaurant I was in with Larry. It was Genghis Cohen's on Fairfax. And we were waiting for a table, and I remember him writing the idea down.
I thought this could be a pretty funny idea. Waiting in real time. You get 23 minutes to do the show, whatever. Let's just have them wait 23 minutes for a table.
I remember getting the script, because Larry and Jerry wrote everything out by hand, and there were no scene breaks. And I was very confused, because to me, scene A, scene B, scene C, we had scene breaks. And there was no scene break, there was only an act break. And I was like, there's something wrong, because I hadn't read through enough of it to say, oh, it's all in the same place.
I read that script, and I went, nothing happens. Am I missing pages? Literally, they go to the restaurant, they stand around, they can't get a table. Nothing happens. Is this? Are they trying to save money? I didn't get it.
I adored the Chinese restaurant when I first read it, and I couldn't wait to do it because it was like doing a play.
NBC, when we suggested that we wanted to do this one set idea where the gang just waits for a table the entire show and never gets it, they thought that was very static and not appealing.
And I knew, I don't know how I knew, I may have picked it up at the table read or guys may have talked about it, but I knew the network was up in arms about this episode.
I really felt, Jerry, Larry, doesn't something have to happen in this show?
Eventually we put in the clock, and I was a big fan of Plan 9 from Outer Space, so we decided they were going to head out to a movie, and it was Plan 9 from Outer Space. It was only playing one night, and it put some pressure and it ratcheted up the stakes.
You don't understand. This isn't plans 1 through 8 from outer space. This is Plan 9. This is the one that worked. The worst movie ever made.
That was the first episode where all 4 of the characters didn't participate, and Michael Richards was left out, and he was very upset about that.
When I wasn't in the Chinese restaurant episode, I felt hurt. I felt that I was being written out of the show. I remember Larry came to me and says, we're not going to do this all the time,
The reason why the character isn't in the Chinese restaurant episode is because that was part of the character. He didn't go out with them.
He was confined to his apartment. He never went outside. I said, that's a good hook.
If that episode had been written a year or two later, he would have been there.
The Chinese restaurant episode was so unique that I just wanted to be a part of that uniqueness because it was cutting edge. I knew that was a very important episode. So odd.
After the show was handed in, NBC didn't even want to run it. They hated it, hated the show.
They thought this was a betrayal. They thought this was just sacrilege. How could we, a struggling nothing show like this that nobody's watching, how dare you try and pull something off like this?
They held it back and didn't run it until towards the end of the season because they were so sure that this was going to really be one of the real bombs of the season.
And yet, they let us do it.
The only thing that they said was, we completely disagree with this idea, but if you want to do it, go ahead. And I thought that's all you can ask for, is they gave us the shot.
I feel like just walking over there and taking some food off of somebody's plate.
I'll tell you what. There's $50 in it for you if you do it.
What do you mean?
You walk over to that table, you pick up an egg roll, you don't say anything. You eat it, say thank you very much, wipe your mouth, walk away. I give you $50.
Should I do it, George?
For $50? I'll put my face in this soup and blow.
Turns out that became one of the episodes that really put the show into another category.
To me, it was the defining beginning of the anarchy of Seinfeld, and it was a great episode.
Caught, right?